turn it down!
Yeah. It's Jace at Death Proof CrossFit, and I'm unfortunately compelled to create this presentation as a rebuttal to some of the objections that I've been hearing in this last week. As you're probably aware, on June 1st, we start the Megapot Transformation Challenge, a chance to win $4,000 for male and female winners of a transformation challenge. And I've been meeting with people, and some people have been saying, like, it's so expensive. And I think that's unfair. I think we should spend a few minutes determining how you come to that conclusion. Now, the Transformation Challenge is tough. We're going to pull out all the stops. Every bit of nutritional technology that we have available within an 8-week period, we're going to employ to make sure you get the best transformation possible. Now, not everybody is capable of doing such a thing over an 8-week period. You've got too much stuff going on in your lives, and that's why we meet with people before they enter it, because I don't want you to waste your money. It's a tough environment. You got to make sure that your capacity to adopt some extra stress is present, and that your family is willing to partake in the misery that you will inevitably instill in them over that period. But damn, at the end, it's going to be worth it, because you could be 30 or 40 pounds down. It's so expensive. Given that this is essentially a solemn vow that you're entering into in terms of your own performance over 8 weeks, let's talk about another solemn vow. Let's talk about marriage, specifically my marriage. Let me tell you an anecdote. One day, I bought my wife a car. In a subsequent day, that wife drove that same car into my other car on my driveway. Now, it was driven downhill into the car, so it didn't even require any gas to be used in order to wreck both of those cars. And the subsequent bill that ensued was dramatic. So here's a situation where it took an enormous amount of money to repair a situation which was very cheap to get into. That made me think about this challenge. It's expensive. There is some money to lay down. But is it as expensive as what got you into this problem in the first place? Well, you know me, I'm a bit of a math monkey. So let's just have a quick thought experiment along those lines. Let's pretend that the way that you got 30, 40 pounds too heavy was that you ate Big Mac meals. Just Big Mac meals. And let's assume that the entirety of that Big Mac meal actually landed on your ass. It's not the way it happens, but it's a worst case scenario. I eat this thing and the entire thing goes directly on my butt. Well, here's some math. A pound of fat has about 3,500 calories of energy associated with it. On average. It changes for the types of fat, but 3,500 is a pretty good number. So 40 pounds of fat is 140,000 calories. Now there's 1,080 calories in a Big Mac meal. That would be a Big Mac, medium Coke, medium fries. But I know you supersize it. That Big Mac meal costs $6.99 before tax. That means that's 129.6 meals worth of fat. That cost you $906 before tax. And that's assuming the whole thing goes on your ass, which it doesn't. Only a portion of it does. So the real bill for your 40 pounds overweight is actually vastly more than $906. It's well into the thousands. And here we are with a mechanism that costs a few $100 that is promising to revert that in just 8 weeks, when it took years of eating your extra Big Mac meal in order to put that directly on your ass. The thing is, all of that food didn't actually deliver much in the way of nutrition. Proudly on the McDonald's website, it tells us that 11 grams of that was saturated fat, 3 grams of dietary fiber. So in that whole meal, when you eat it, you actually crap out about a pea. 10% of calcium compared to your daily recommended amount. That doesn't sound bad. That almost sounds like it's contributing some nutrition. Well, there's also a gram of trans fats. 9 grams of sugar in a burger, fries, and drink. That's 2 days of your max limit of sugar, preferably 0. We have figures for cholesterol. We have figures for potassium. We have figures for sodium. Half of your daily amount in one Big Mac meal. That's it. That's all that's contained in here. It actually lists vitamin D and says it contains 0 vitamin D, which is strange because a Big Mac is a form of cheeseburger. And given that cheese is famously a contributor of high levels of calcium and vitamin D, then you would have to ask yourself the logical question that develops from that statement, which is, if cheese contains vitamin D and there's no vitamin D in my Big Mac meal, then what exactly the fuck is that orange shit on top of the sandwich once I pull the top button off? Interesting question. Now, you can piss and whine about how expensive it is to recover your health and fitness, but the fact is, it's a lot cheaper and it takes a lot less time than it took for you to put yourself into this advanced position of suffering according to what you've been eating. Come and learn to do it properly. Very rarely in life do you have a repair bill which is less than the bill that it cost to do the damage in the first place. I can only think of one other example where this is the case. And so, I will leave you with this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you to the divorce lawyers, because they're the only other ones that repair shit that's this expensive at such a low price. We'll see you on the Transformation Challenge. Hit the apply button on the ad and come in and talk to us. And let's get rid of all of that stuff that you don't need. Just in time for summer. Catch you later.